And this one we do in the winter, in February, so we can always promote different professionals. We also promote youth workshop, and each and every one of you take advantage of that. It's very hard. I'm pretty sure if you want to go to a dentist and a loan officer and to learn math or to learn about breast cancer, you have to go to different spots, and it takes time, energy. But here we're bringing everyone together. So you guys have the opportunity to go to every table and get all the valuable information. And please do us a favor so that we want to give out these prizes. We have very amazing prizes that are sponsored, which I'll talk about who the sponsors are. You make sure you get all the stamps. Visit every table, get a valuable information, and get your stamps so that we can put your name in the drawing and you get your prizes. With no further ado, I would like to welcome Dagum, who's going to be speaking about We Care, and this will be our welcoming speech. Thank you very much for your time, and we really do appreciate it.
ዛሬ እዚህ ፊታችሁ ቆሜ የዚህን ግብረሰናይ ተግባርና ድርጅት ለማወደስ በተለይ የዛሬ 3ኛ ዓመቱን የፕሮፌሽናል ዴይ ፕሮግራም እንድከፍት ለተሰጠኝ ዕድል ምስጋናዬን እያቀረብኩ እንኳን ለ3ኛው ዓመት የፕሮፌሽናል ዴይ ኢቨንት በሰላም አደረሳችሁ እላለሁ። በቅድሚያ ጥሪያችንን አክብራችሁ እዚህ በማዕከላችን ለተገኛችሁልን፣ ዓላማችን፣ ግባችን፣ ውጥኑ ስራችንና ለተረዳችሁልን ባላችሁ አቅምና ችሎታ እንዲሁም በሙያ እውቀታችሁ ጥበባችሁ ሁሉ ወገንን ለመርዳት በማሰብ ሀገር አቋርጣችሁ ወርቅማ ጊዜያችሁን ሰውታችሁ በነፃ አገልግሎት ለመስጠት ለመጣችሁ ስፖንሰር በማድረግ የዚሁ ግብረሰናይ ፋውንዴሽን አጋር በመሆን በሙሉ ፈቃደኝነት ለተገኛችሁልን የ2020 ፕሮፌሽናል ገስት ስፒከርስ፣ የ2020 ከረንት ኤንድ ፊውቸር ስቱደንት አድቫይዘርስ፣ የ2020 ፓርቲሲፓንት ፕሮፌሽናልስ እንዲሁም ነን ፕሮፊት ኦርጋናይዜሽን በሙሉ ታላቅ የአክብሮት ምስጋናዬን በዊኬር ፋውንዴሽን ስም ከመልካም አክብሮትና አድናቆት ጋር ላቀርብላችሁ እወዳለሁ። ዛሬ ይህ የምታዩት ሞቅ ያለ ዝግጅት መቼም ያለ እናንተ ተሳትፎ ውበት ሊያገኝ ባልቻለ ነበር። የዚህ ግብረሰናይ ፋውንዴሽን ዓላማና ተግባርን በመደገፍ የተነሳንበትን ዓላማ እቅዳችንን ለኮሚኒቲው ህብረተሰብ ጠቃሚነቱን በመረዳት በፈጠርነው አጋጣሚ ተጠቃሚ ሆኖ ትምህርትን ለመቅሰም ለልጆቻችን የወደፊት የእውቀት ጉዞ ቀዳጅ አርአያና አነሳሽ ፕሮግራም መሆኑን በመረዳት የዚህ ዝግጅት ድግስ ተቋዳሽ ለመሆን በመካከላችን በመገኘት አጋርነታችሁን ላሳያችሁን እንዲሁም ጥሪያችንን አክብራችሁ ለተገኛችሁልን ውድ ታዳሚዎቻችንና የክብር እንግዶቻችን አሁንም በዊኬር ሁማኒታሪያን ፋውንዴሽን ስም የአክብሮት ምስጋናዬን ሳቀርብ በታላቅ ትህትናና አክብሮት ጭምር ነው። እንግዲህ ይህ ታላቅ ሰው ፌብሩዋሪ 12 1809 በአሜሪካ ጠቅላይ ግዛት በምትገኘው በኬንታኪ ከተማ ከድሃ ቤተሰብ ነበር የተወለደው። የአሜሪካ 16ኛው ፕሬዚዳንት በመሆን ከማርች 4 1861 እስከ ኤፕሪል 14 1865 ድረስ አገልግሏል። ይኸው ግለሰብ ለሀገሩ በታላቅ ሞራል የሰራ ከ620 ሺህ በላይ ሰው ባለቀበት የሲቪል ዋር ጊዜ ባርነትን በመቃወም ፍሪ ዘ ስሌቭ በሚል ዓላማ የታገለና ነፃ ያወጣ ተከፋፍሎ የነበረውን ሀገር እንዲሁም የኮንስቲቱሽን እና ፖለቲካል ክራይሲስ ታግሎ ነፃ ያወጣ ሀገሪቱን አንድ ያደረገ መሪም እንደነበር ይነገርለታል። ይህ መሪ አብርሃም ሊንከን ይባላል። በአብርሃም ሊንከን ሕይወት ውስጥ ብዙ ምስቅልቅል ያሉ ችግሮችና ውጣ ውረዶች እንደነበሩ እንረዳለን። ከነዚህ በጥቂቱ ከ6 ወር በላይ በአእምሮ ህመም የተጎዳና እናቱና ሊያገባት ያዘጋጀችውን እጮኛውን በሞት ያጣ፣ በህግ ትምህርት ለመቀጠል ቢሞክርም አንዳንድ ሰንካላ ምክንያቶች በማጋጠም ከዛ ሊቀጥል ባለመቻሉ ቢዝነሱ የከሰረበት፣ ባንክረፕት አድርጎ ወደ 17 ዓመት ዕዳ የነበረበት፣ በአሜሪካ የኮንግረስ ስቴት ሌጅስሌተር ለመሆን ተወዳድሮ በተደጋጋሚ ለማሸነፍ ባለመቻሉ እና ሌሎችም ብዙ የሚጠቀሱ ሂደቶች ያሳለፈ ታላቅ ሰው ነበር። ይህም ሆኖ ይህ ሁሉ ምስቅልቅል ችግር ቢገጥሙትም እሱ ግን ተቋቁሞ ራሱን በመቻል አገሩን አግዞ ለታላቅ ደረጃ የበቃ የጠንካሮች ተምሳሌት ሆኖ ያለፈ እንደነበር በታሪክ ይነገርለታል። ዋናው የአብርሃም ሊንከን ልንረዳ የምንችለው በህይወት ጉዟችን ውስጥ ብዙ ውጣ ውረዶች ስለሚገጥሙን ተስፋ ሳንቆርጥ ትልቅ ደረጃ መድረስ እንደሚቻል ሲሆን ተስፋ ለመቁረጥ በዓላማችን መጽናትና ካመንበት ሁሉ ነገር የማይቻል የለምና ጠንክሮ መስራት ከጣርን ከለፋን ከጎበዝን ሁሉን ነገር ማድረግ እንደምንችል ምንም እንደማያቅተን ለመረዳት ነው። ውድ እንግዶቻችን ይህን ሁሉ ለልጆቻችን በማስተማር መበርታትን፣ መታገልን፣ ጠንካራ መሆንን ሁሌ በአሸናፊነት እንደምንወጣ ማወቅን ተስፋ ለመቁረጥን ሌላውንም ከአብርሃም ሊንከን የህይወት ጉዞ መረዳት እንደሚቻል ምሳሌ በማድረግ ለልጆቻችን እገዛ ልናደርግላቸው ይገባል። እናንተም እዚህ የምትገኙ ወገኖቻችን እዚህ የደረሳችሁት በቀላሉ እንደ ዋዛ ባለመሆኑ የህይወት ተሞክሮቻችሁን ለልጆቻችን በማማከር እገዛ በማድረግ እና መርዳት ይገባናል። ወደ ቁም ነገር ውስጥ ገባ። ይህ ፕሮግራም ዋናው ዓላማው ባለሙያዎቹን ከባለሙያዎች ለማገናኘትና ለማስተዋወቅ ሀገራችን ያፈራቻቸው እነዚህ ባለሙያዎች ለአትላንታ ኮሚኒቲ ነዋሪዎች ያላቸውን ብቁ ችሎታና ልምድ ለማካፈል መድረኩን በመክፈት ተጠቃሚው በባለሙያዎቹ ሙያ እና ሙያዊ እገዛ ልምድ እንዲያገኝ ለማድረግ ነው። እነዚህ ሀገራችን እውቅ ባለሙያዎች ወይ ፕሮፌሽናልስ እንዴት እዚህ ደረጃ ሊደርሱ ሰክሰስፉል ሊሆኑ እንደቻሉ የተጓዙበትን ፈታኝ ጉዞ እንዴት እንደወጡና ለዚህ እንደበቁ ለተማሪዎች፣ ለታዳጊዎች፣ ለወላጆችና ለሁሉም የህብረተሰብ ክፍል ጠቃሚ መረጃና ልምዳቸውን እንዲያካፍሉልን ሲሆን ከሞላ ጎደል በአጭሩ ይህንን መጥቀሱ በቂ ነው። ከነሱም ልምድ በመነሳት ሀሳብ ለመለዋወጥና እድሉን ተጠቅማችሁ በተፈጠረው አጋጣሚ ሁሉ ከባለሙያዎቹ ጋር በመወያየት እንድትችሉ ታስቦ የተዘጋጀ ዝግጅት መሆኑንም ለመግለጽ እወዳለሁ። እንግዲህ ቅድም ዓለም ስለ ዊኬር ፋውንዴሽን ሁሉን ነገር ጠቅሰዋለች። ድጋሚ መጥቀስም የሚያስፈልገኝ አይደለም። ይህ ግብረሰናይ ድርጅት በአጠቃላይ ከዝግጅቱ የሚያገኘው ገቢ ማለት ዊኬር ሁማኒታሪያን ኦርጋናይዜሽን ፋውንዴሽን የምናገኘው ገቢ በኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ ለሚገኙ አቅመ ደካማ አረጋውያን፣ ለተጎዱና ቤተሰብ አልባ ለሆኑ ታዳጊ ህፃናት መርጃና ብሩህ ተስፋ እንዲኖራቸው አይዟችሁ የሚል ፋውንዴሽን ነው። ከሚጠቀሱትም ካደረግናቸው መቄዶንያ አረጋውያን ድርጅትን በመርዳት ቤተሳይዳ የልጆች ማሳደጊያን በመርዳት ነሆሚያ ኦቲዝም ሴንተርን በመርዳት በዚህ ባለፉት 3 ዓመቶች እገዛ አድርገናል። እንዲሁም በዚሁ በአትላንታ ነዋሪ የሆኑ ወገኖቻችን በህመም ሲጎዱ እና ችግራቸውን ደግሞ በማዳመጥ የተቸገሩ ወገኖቻችን በተደጋጋሚ እርዳታ በማድረግ የታወቀ ግብረሰናይ ድርጅት ነው። እናንተም ይህንን ቅን ተግባር በመረዳት ያለ እናንተም እኛ ተሳትፎና እገዛ ምንም መራመድ ስለማንችል ሁሌ በእውቀታችሁ፣ በገንዘባችሁ፣ በምትችሉት አቅም ሁሉ ከጎናችን ሆናችሁ ላገዛችሁን ድርጅቶችም ሆነ ግለሰቦች ወደፊትም እንደማትለዩን በመተማመን በዊኬር ፋውንዴሽን ስም ታላቅ ምስጋናዬንና አክብሮት ላቀርብላችሁ እወዳለሁ። እንግዲህ በፈጠርነው አጋጣሚ ተጠቅማችሁ ከባለሙያዎቹ የሚሰጠውን ትምህርት በመቀበልና በመወያየት በየመስኩ ልታገኙ የምትችሉትን እውቀትና ግንዛቤ እንድትቀስሙ አብራችሁንም ፕሮግራማችንን እንድትካፈሉ እየጋበዝኩኝ ይህንን ፕሮግራም እና ቅደም ተከተል ለሚመሩት መድረኩን በመልቀቅ ፕሮግራማችንን ኦፊሻሊ ክፍት በማድረግ ሰናበታችኋለሁ። አመሰግናለሁ።
ከዚህ በመቀጠል ታዳጊ ህፃናት ምን ማድረግ ለኢትዮጵያ እንደሚቻል በዘፈን ለእናንተ ሞቅ እያረጋችሁ እንድጠብቋቸው። ለእንዲህ አይነት ሞራል ካልሰጠናቸው ኔክስት ታይም ደግሞ ያፍራሉ። ስለዚህ እነዚህን ልጆች በሚቀጥለው ሲመጡ እያጨበጨባችሁ እየደገፋችሁ እልልም እያላችሁ አበረታቷቸው። ልጆቹን ወደዚህ እናመጣለን። ከዚህ በመቀጠል I'm trying to say there's a few young kids. Look at them with the Ethiopian flag shirt that are coming, that are going to be singing. Please cheer them up. Give them a big applause. And it is so nice of you guys to take your time and give us this amazing performance. We really do appreciate it. them, aren't they so amazing? Good job, guys. These are the upcoming future leaders of our society, so we need to give them a big applause. After this, you guys can mix and mingle and get the most information you can. And we have great speakers. We have speakers that are going to give you so much information. So please be input and just make sure you get as much information as you can. Thank you very much for coming. We'll have a speaker in about 15 minutes. So I'm giving you guys a break from sitting, getting a coffee, some samosa, and some cookies, and then we'll continue. Thank you so much. And make sure you take a great advantage of that, because these people are full of information that's worth for your kids, for you. If you want to walk with your kids, that's fine. It's an engaging experience. So make sure you take your kids to the latte room. The room is called the latte room. Once you pass the elevator, it will be on the right. That's for the youth workshop. It will start at 3:45. But I will have the speaker currently who will be coming here. And you guys please give him a great applause to Professor Thank you for your time, everyone.
እኔ ዛሬ ከፊታችሁ ቀርቤ ልናገር የፈለኩት ስለ ልጆቻችን ትምህርት ሁኔታና አንዳንድ ከማውቀው የምችለውን ምክር ለመስጠት ነው ማለት ነው። አላስረዝምባቸው። አንደኛው ስለ ሜንቶሪንግ ወይም ደግሞ አድቫይዚንግ ስለሚያስፈልጋቸው ለልጆቻችን ምክር ትምህርትን በተመለከተ መምከር እንዴት እንደሚሄዱ ምን እንደሚያዋጣቸው ሁል ጊዜ ከፕሮፌሽናል አድቫይስ ቢያገኙ በጣም አስፈላጊ ነው። በተለይ የዚህ ሀገር ሲስተም የዚህ ሀገር የትምህርት ሁኔታ እኛ ከምናውቀው በጣም የተለየ ነው። አሁን ለምሳሌ ኤሌመንተሪ ሚድል ስኩል ወይም ሃይ ስኩል ልጆች ያሏችሁ ትኖሩ ይሆናል። ኮርሱ ሲወስዱ 9ኛ ክፍል ሆኖ ሬጉላር ወይም ደግሞ ስታንዳርድ ሂሳብ የሚወስድ ይኖራል። ጊፍትድ ይባላል። እንደገና አክሰለሬትድ ይባላል። አሁን አንዳንድ ጊዜ እኛ ልዩነቱን የማናውቅበት ጊዜ ስለሚበዛ ምንድነው ጥቅሙ ምንድነው ጉዳቱ የሚለው ምክር ማግኘት ይጠቅማል። እንደ ምሳሌ አንድ ላቀርብላችሁ የምፈልገው ነገር አንድ ተማሪ ወደኛ ሴንተር የሚመጣ ተማሪ ነበርና ልጁ 7ኛ ክፍል ነው። ዳይናሚክ ነው፣ በጣም ጎበዝ ነው። ግን አክሰለሬትድ ክላስ ውስጥ ስለሚማር የሚወስደው አልጀብራ የ9ኛ ክፍል አልጀብራ ነው። እና ምን ሆነ መሰላችሁ? ስትሬት ኤ ተማሪ የነበረ ዲና ኤፍ ብቻ ሆነ ግሬድ እና ወላጆች በጣም ኮንፊውዝ ደውና አመጡት። ልጁ ጎበዝ ነው፣ ግን ምንድነው ችግሩ የሚለውን ማወቅ ነበር የሚያስፈልጋቸው ለነሱ ማለት ነው። እና አንዳንዴ ግሬዳቸው እያዩ የሚያስቀምጧቸው ሌብል አለ። ያ ሌብል ግን የልጆቻችን ትክክለኛ ሌብል ላይሆን የሚችልበት ጊዜ አለ ማለት ነው። እና ያ ተማሪ የገጠመው ችግር አክሰለሬተር ውስጥ ሲያስገቡት ጋፑን አልሞሉለትም ነበር እና ያለው ጋፕ በጣም አስቸገረውና ኮንፊውዝ አደረገው። የዲና የኤፍ ተማሪ ሆነ ይሄ ተማሪ ማለት ነው። እና ስንመለከተው ኦል ሂ ኒድስ የተወሰኑ ቶፒክስ ለሱ ከበር ማድረግ ብቻ ነበር። በክሪስማስ ብሬክ 3 ሳምንት ወስደው ያን ኮርስ ኢዝሊ ሪከቨር አደረገ። ከዛ በኋላ የኤ ተማሪ መሆኑን ቀጠለ ማለት ነው። እና አንዳንድ ጊዜ አድቫይዚንግ ቀላል ነገር እንደሆነ አንመልከተው። ኤጁኬሽን ኢንቨስትመንት ነው። ለልጆቻችን የምናወጣው ገንዘብ ይመልስልን እናገኘዋለን። ጥሩ ትምህርት ቤት ከሄዱ ጥሩ ስራ መያዝ ከቻሉ ትንሽ ለነሱ ኢንቨስት ብናደርግ ምንም አይደለም፣ ሪዋርዱ ብዙ ስለሚሆን ማለት ነው። እና እዚህ ላይ ደግሞ ጨከን ማለት ወላጆች ያስፈልገናል ማለት ነው። አሁን ኮሪያንስ ለኤግዛምፕል ብጠቅስላችሁ እነሱ ብዙ ጊዜ ኢቨን ዝቅተኛ ክፍያ ያላቸው ከፍተኛ ክፍያ እየከፈሉ ልጆቻቸውን ተጨማሪ ትምህርት ያስተምራሉ። ግን ሲጨርሱ በጣም ጥሩ ስራ ጥሩ ሁኔታ ላይ ነው የሚሆኑ እና እዚህ ላይ ወላጆች ልናስብበት ይገባል ማለት ነው። ሌላው ምክር የሚያስፈልገው ለምሳሌ አሁን 9ኛ ክፍሎች ወደ እኔ ሴንተር የሚመጡ ወደ 9ኛ ክፍል በሚቀጥለው ዓመት 9ኛ ክፍል የሚሆኑ መምረጥ ነበረባቸው ኮርስ አይደለም። አሁን በቅርብ ብዙዎች ታስታውሱ ይሆናል ወላጆች እና አልጀብራ ነው ጂኦሜትሪ ነው መውሰድ ያለባቸው የሚል ጥያቄ ለወላጆች በጣም የሚያስቸግር ማለት ነው። እንዴት ነው ያን ኢቫሉዌት ማድረግ አሰስ ተደርጎ ትክክለኛውን መውሰድ ያለባቸው የሚለው እንደዚህ አይነት ምክሮች ያስፈልጋቸዋል። ምክንያቱም ዳውን ዘ ሮድ ህይወታቸውን የሚያስተካክል ስለሚሆን ማለት ነው። እና እንደዚህ አይነት ምክሮችን ብናገኝ ልጆቻችንን በትክክል ሳይጨነቁ የሚገባቸው ማግኘት ይችላሉ ማለት ነው። አንዳንድ ጊዜ ደግሞ ግሬድ የዚህ ሀገር ሲስተም ማለት ነው ስኩል ኢቫሉዌት የሚሆን ቤዝድ ኦን ምን ያህል ተማሪዎች አሳለፈ፣ ምን ያህል ተማሪዎች 95% ላይ ሆኑ፣ እንደዚህ የሚሉ ክራይቴሪያዎች አሉ። እነዛን ተመርጦ ነው ትምህርት ቤቱ ለአስተማሪዎች ሬዝ የሚያገኘው ወይም ደግሞ ስታንዳርዱ ግሬዱ ማለት ነው 8፣ 9፣ 10 የሚለው እንደዚህ አይነቱ ክራይቴሪያ በጀቱ ሁሉ በዛ መሰረት ስለሆነ ብዙ ጊዜ ኢንዳይሬክትሊ አስተማሪዎች ፑሽ የሚደረጉት ተማሪዎች ግሬድ እንዲያገኙ ጥሩ ግሬድ እንዲያገኙና ትምህርት ቤቱ እንደዚህ ያደርጋል እንዲባል ይሄን ልብ ልንለው ይገባል። ያ በመሆኑ ሪል አሰስመንት ላይኖር ይችላል ለልጆቻችን ማለት ነው። እና እንደዛ አይነቱን ነገር ግሬዳቸው ብቻ አይተን ልጄ ይሄ ነው ብለን እንዳንታለን አንዳንድ ጊዜ አድቫይስ ማግኘት ጥሩ ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ የኛ ሴንተር የሚሰራው ስራ ቲቺንግ አለ፣ ቱቶሪንግ አለ፣ አድቫይዚንግ አለ። ለወላጆች ምን ቢያደርጉ ልጆቻቸው ጥሩ ፐርፎርም ሊያደርጉላቸው ይችላሉ የሚለውን እንሰራለን ማለት ነው። ጥያቄ ካላችሁ እዚህ ጋር ያለው መጠየቅ ትችላላችሁ። በዚህ አጋጣሚ ይሄ አጋጣሚ ስለተሰጠኝ ዊኬር በጣም አመሰግናለሁ። ሜምበርሺፕ መሆን እፈልጋለሁ። ብለስድ ሚሽን ነው። ይሄን ሁላችንም ልንደግፈው የሚገባ ነው። አመሰግናችኋለሁ። እግዚአብሔር ይስጥልኝ።
Thank you, Professor Mulugeta. We really do appreciate your time coming here and giving us this valuable information. And for those of you who want the youth workshop, the workshop will be going on latte room for all kids that are between the age of 8 to 16. There will be a meeting speakers. Go ahead and take advantage of it. And that will be a room. The room is called latte room. And there are 2 speakers. That workshop will be going on for an hour. There will be 2 speakers that will be engaged. And the rest of you, enjoy your time. We'll have a second speaker in the next 30 minutes. And you go ahead and get all your info. Bye.
ፋውንዴሽን እዚህ ጋር ለተማሪዎች በተለይ ብዙ መረጃዎች ስላሏቸው ስለሚሰሩት ነን ፕሮፊት ስራ ያስረዷቸዋል። ካሌ ፋውንዴሽንንም ሄዳችሁ ተጋመድ ትችላላችሁ። ከዛ ቀጥሎ አልትራ ኳሊቲ ሲቢዲ ያለ በጣም ረቀቅ ያለ ስራ ነው። ስሙ ራሱ ከበደ ለመጥራት አና ለች እዛ ጋር እሷንም ታናግሯት ትችላላችሁ። እዛ ጋር ሰናይ ዲኮር አለች። ዲኮሬሽን በተመለከተ እሷን አብራ ሰጣቸዋለች። እዛ ጋር የሞርጌጅ ላን ኦፊሰር አለ። ሚስተር መሆን አለ ተክፎ ካም ሚስተር መሆን ሞርጌጅ እና ለስራም ለቤት ሞርጌጅ ብድር ከፈለጋችሁ ገንዘብን በሚመለከት የካንትህም if you want $1 million no problem እሱ ይዛታችኋል ማለት ነው። ሄዳችሁ ማናገር ትችላላችሁ። በታች በኩል ኢንጁሪ ቱ ዌልነስ አሉ። ዶክተር ጋርሲያ አዛጋለ ተኪፎ ካሚል እሱ ካይሮፕራክተር ናቸው። እነሱ የሚችሉት ላይ መረጃ ይሰጧችኋል። በታች በኩል እንደምታዩቸው ዓለም ፀሐይ ካንሰር ፋውንዴሽን አሉ። ከእነሱ መረጃ ወሰዱ። እዛ ጋር ኦን ታይም ስታፊንግ አለ። በጣም ብዙ ሰራተኞች ይቀጥራሉ። እነሱ ጋር ሄዳችሁ ስራ ለሚፈልጉ ሰዎች አፕላይ ማድረግ ይቻላል። በታች በኩል ኦን ታይም ስታፊንግ ሰራተኛ ይቀጥራሉ። አነጋግሯቸው። በዚህ በኩል ነርፍ ኖት ኢንሹራንስ እና ታክስ አሉ። በዚህ በኩል የተለያዩ የሪል ስቴት ጥያቄ ካላችሁ ወይም የናቹራል ሜዲሲን የናቹራል ቅባት በሩ አካባቢ ማክደት ጠብቃችኋለች። በዚህ በኩል ደግሞ የአትላንታ ውስጥ ብቸኛ በሻ ፕላስቲክ ሰርጀን እንዳለ ካላወቃችሁ አሁን ማወቅ ትችላላችሁ። እዚህ ጋር አሉ። እነሱ ሄዳችሁ ማነጋገር ትችላላችሁ። የመጀመሪያው በግራ በኩል ያለው ዴስክ ላይ ናችሁ። ስለ ፕላስቲክ ሰርጀሪ ጥያቄ ካላችሁ እነሱን አነጋግሩ። በነገራችን ላይ የዛሬ ዓመት ላይ ላታውቁ ትችላላችሁ። ምክንያቱም ሊቀይሩኝ ቃል ገብተዋል። ሌላ ሰው ምስዬ ነው የምመጣው ቆንጆ እንደሆን ማለት ነው። እዚህ እንዳላችሁት አቶ ላከ ታክስ ነው የሚሰራው። አድቫይስ ያደርጋችኋል። ቦታው ታች ነው። በታች በኩል ታገኙታላችሁ። እዚህ ጋር ያው ስለማትስ ቀደም የተናገረ ፕሮፌሰር ሙሉጌታ አሉ። ኤሪክ ጥያቄ ካላችሁ ከልጆች ጋር ከቱተር ጋር በተያያዘ እነሱንም አናግሯቸው። ክሌርሞንት ሜዲካል ክሊኒክ ቴክኒኮ ካሚንግ እዚህ ጋር ታገኛቸዋላችሁ። ያው ለዶክተር በላቸው መሀላችን አሉ። መስኪን ማለች። ከእነሱ መረጃ መውሰድ ትችላላችሁ። እዛ ጋር ክላፕሰን ፕራይመሪ ኬር በቅርብ የተከፈተ በኢትዮጵያኖች የተከፈተ ትልቅ የሜዲካል ክሊኒክ ነው። እነሱንም እዛ ጋር ሄዳችሁ የምትፈልጉትን የሕክምና መረጃ ማግኘት ትችላላችሁ። ቴንክ ዩ ፎር ካሚንግ ሚ እና ዶክተር በዚህ በኩል ይኸው ትሪፕል ኤ ኢንሹራንስ እሱን ማግኘት ትችላላችሁ። አሁን ወደ ሶፋኒት ነው የምወስዳችሁ። አለም መጀመሪያ ኩሪፍቱ ተነስቶ አዲስ አበባ ስትሄዱ መቼም ኩሪፍቱ ሳትሄዱ አትቀሩም ማለት ምናልባት በነፃም ሊሆን ይችላል አይታወቅም። ግን ኩሪፍቱ ሪዞርት ራሱን የቻለ ቴብል አለው። ሄደን ምን እናድርግ፣ ምንድነው ዋጋው፣ ምን ማግኘት እንችላለን፣ አዲስ የከፈታችሁት ዋተር ፓርክ እንዴት ነው የሚሰራው፣ ይህንን ሁሉ ከእነሱ መረጃ ማግኘት ትችላላችሁ። ሰፋኔት ሁለት ሙያ ነው ያለት፣ ሁለቱንም ወክላ ነው የመጣችው። ለ5 ደቂቃ ወደ እሷ ወስዳቸዋለሁ። ቴንክ ዩ
Hi everybody, it's wonderful to be here. I think this is a wonderful organization that we should all applaud magazine and anybody else that's involved in it. My name is Stephanie Tesfaye. I am the CEO of Link. It's an interesting topic considering that I don't use any technology. I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on any of the other social media elements. And I'm not against them. I think they're a wonderful tool, but I think we do need to use them responsibly. But what I do want to emphasize on is the power of engagement, the power of listening, the power of using opportunities that you have in order to grow yourself, to develop yourself. And I want to tell you a little bit about myself and how I got here. I got here because I had a great mentor called David Ethiopian, who opened up my eyes for all the possibilities in life. When I met him, I was a kid in college that didn't really have a lot of experience, that didn't know what I wanted to do when I grow up. Not that I know what I want to do when I grow up today, but I'm a lot further than I thought I would. Long story short, I met David. When I met him, he came in as a guy that was in a refinance and turned around the company that I worked for. And I was fascinated because I was told that the guy lives in Florida and he's coming to buy our company. And he lives in Massachusetts for 3 days out of the week, and the rest of the time he lives in Florida. I was fascinated by someone that lived in 2 different places. And I was very determined to meet him and know him and get to know him. Eventually I got to know him and I talked to him and I was fascinated about all of the things that he did in life. And one day when he came to the office, I offered to give him a ride to go to the airport. So we got started, we got to be friends, good friends, and learn a lot from him. I spent a lot of time with him, hours and hours talking about business, technology, how we got into what we got into. And I spent about 5 or 6 years under his mentorship. And eventually he asked me to come and work for him. I bought and sold companies with him for about 10 plus years. And eventually when he passed away, I took over the company as the CEO. We have about 95 employees across 3 different platforms, a marketing company, a technology company. We trade in semiconductors and we sell to companies like Google, Motorola, and any of the high technology companies that you guys hear about. But what I do want to emphasize on is the reason why I got the opportunity that I got was because I was willing to engage, I was willing to talk to him, and I was looking to ask questions. So for all the young people that are here that are so fascinated with cell phones and don't want to talk to people, the one thing that I want to say to you is pay attention. Every single one of us is given the same number of opportunities. Some of us see it and we don't recognize it. Some of us do see it and we hesitate. But some of us see it and we jump on it. So what I want to encourage everybody to do is anytime that you get an opportunity to talk to somebody, ask them about themselves, ask them about what they do, ask them about how they got into what they do. You don't know what opportunities it opens up for you. It opened up a huge opportunity for me. Now I employ about 95 people. I was fascinated by a guy that lives in 2 different places. I live in 3 different places. So dream big, look forward, and if you do and if you allow yourself to engage with people instead of focusing on other people's lives, if you want to focus on your life, I think everybody will have an opportunity. Unfortunately, today to represent my company, but I'm here today to represent Turismo Resorts, which is, as you know, the CEO of Turismo Resorts, who's a fellow Ethiopian, who's a big dreamer, and that's been able to develop, to contribute a lot to the development of our country. And they now have a water park that we're promoting for them. And the water park is open right next to the Turismo Resorts. And you guys are able to buy tickets for it online, www.waterpark.com, and you're able to get it for half price. And I encourage everybody to come over, take one of these flyers that will allow you to buy tickets at half price for 6 people in Addis Ababa. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
That is so good. Thank you so much. Please give her another round of applause. For a young woman as her to be this successful and to employ 95 people is amazing. And I'm so proud that she made that trip all the way from Florida to be a part of our group and support all Ethiopian community and other communities to promote women in leadership and everything that she did. We really do appreciate you. Thank you very much. And for those of you that made it here on such a great day today where you could have rested at home, we really do appreciate you for coming. We have many other great speakers who came all the way from Ethiopia. Dr. Zion is with us, and you guys are in for a treat. So we really do appreciate all these people that make an effort, and I really do appreciate you and all the people that are here that gives their valuable time. So you guys can go ahead and mingle, and then we'll have another speaker in a little bit, and enjoy your coffee and enjoy your time. Thank you. Make sure you get all your stamps, because the prizes are very good.
ናችሁ? ሁሉ ሰላም ነው? ጸጥ እስክትሉ ድረስም የሆነ የማይሆን ነገር አወራ በየቦታው ከባለሙያዎች ጋር እየተወያያችሁ እንዳላችሁ እንዲሁ ያው የሆነ 4 ነጥብ ጋር እስክትደርሱ 1 ደቂቃ ሰጣችሁና ግን ከ5 ደቂቃ ቆይታ በኋላ እንደገና ይቀጥላል ውይይቱና ለ5 ደቂቃ ሶስተኛውን ተናጋሪ ስለምንጋብዝ ነው። ትታገሱናላችሁ። ግን የጀመራችሁትን ውይይት እንደው ተንጠልጥሎ እንዳይቀር 1 ደቂቃ ሰጣችሁና 4 ነጥብ ላይ አቆሙት። ግን ካቆማችሁበት ቦታ ትቀጥላላችሁ። ሶስተኛዋ ተናጋሪያችን ቅድም ለመጠቀስ እንዳደረገችው ከኢትዮጵያ ነው የመጣችሁ ለዚሁ ዝግጅት ብላ ካላጨበጨባችሁ ቅናት ይመስላል። አልሰማችሁንም እንዴ? ከኢትዮጵያ ነው የመጣችሁ ለዚሁ ዝግጅት 5 ደቂቃ ለመናገር ሰው ከኢትዮጵያ ሲመጣ ትልቅ ኮሚትመንት አለ ነው። ዶክተር ጽዮንን በደንብ ታስተዋውቃችኋለች አለም ማን እንደሆነች። ከዛ ከእሷ አጭር ማብራሪያ በኋላ እንደገና ውይይቱና እየዞራችሁ ባለሙያዎችን የምታናገሩበት ፕሮግራም ይቀጥላል። ወደ አለ
እሺ ቴዲ እንዳለው ያሉትን ሰዎች ተናጋሪዎችን ሪስፔክት ለመስጠት ሁላችንም ድምፃችንን ዝቃርገን ወይም ዝም ብለን በተቻለ መጠን እሷ 16 ሰዓት ከኢትዮጵያ ላይ አድርጋ ስለመጣች ሁሉም ሰው ኢኩሊ ነው ሪስፔክት የምናደርገው። የእሷ 16 ዓመት ላይ ማድረግ ምናልባት አቴንሽን ይፈልገዋል ብለን አለ ሁሉንም ተናጋሪ እኩል እንድትሰሙ ሳንረባበሽ ብዙ የምትናገረው ቫሉable ኢንፎርሜሽን ስላለ ምናልባት በጫጫታ ሚስ እንዳታረጉት ብዬ እና ሁላችሁም የምትቀመጡበትን ቦታ ካገኛችሁ ዶክተር ጽዮን ፍሬውን ብዙ ማስተዋወቅ አልፈልግም። ምክንያቱም እሷ የምትነግራችሁ ብዙ ነገር ስላለ ስፖይል እንዳላረግባት ዶክተር ጽዮን ወደ መድረኩ እጠራለሁ። አንድ ጊዜ እስቲ ቸብቸብ አድርጉ።
እንደምን ዋላችሁ? እንደምን ዋላችሁ? እንግዲህ በጣም አመሰግናለሁ አለምን እዚህ ተጠራችሁ። በተለይ አንዴ ቅድም ህፃናቶች አስተምር ነበርና እኔ ልጅ የለኝም የ3 ዓመት ልጅም እስከ 6 ዓመት ልጆች እዛ ሲከታተሉ ነበር። እንግዲህ ታውቃላችሁ ህፃናቶች ሲሆን ህፃናት ነው መጥረነት ማውራት ደስ ይላል። አሁን ማይክ ጊዜ ውስጥ ምንዳ ስለሆነ እኔ ደግሞ ሳውራ ካልሰማኝ ይከብደኛል። ስለዚህ የሰው ፕራክቲሽን ለማግኘት አብዛኛው እንግዲህ ከታሲ የተለያየ ቋንቋ ስለሚችል ሁሉ ሰው እንግሊዝኛ ይችላል ብዬ ስለማስብ በእንግሊዝኛ አወራለሁ። መሀል ላይ ግን አማርኛ ነገራቸው እንግዲህ ብራማሊ ያደርገዋለሁ። So I'm gonna say, if you can hear me, please clap twice. If you can hear me, please clap twice. If you can hear me, please clap twice. Okay, so please, so I can speak with the flow that I came in. I would like to have the room with this radio quietness. I understand on the side people want to talk, but if you could keep it down, I'll really, really appreciate it. So, thank you guys so much. I have your full attention. If you're bored, I'm okay. I will take offense. I grew up in Atlanta, from New York now, so it's okay. I won't take offense. You can step outside and continue the conversation. So, it's great to be in Atlanta. Most of you guys know this is my first away from home. I moved to Atlanta in 2001. I first came here in 99. And then went back to Ethiopia, and then came back in 2001. I started high school here, 10th grade, 11th grade, and ever since then, I've been here for the past, in the US, I've been here since 2001. Just to give you a little background about me, so I was born in Addis Ababa made me, and I like to say Atlanta crafted me, New York molded me, and all those things have made me the person I am. And every day I learn and I evolve each day through my travels in Ethiopia and the rest of the world. So all these contributions, and it's so great to be in Atlanta because I'm surrounded by people, familiar faces. It just felt like home when I first walked in. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you guys a bit about me, and I talk about myself, so that way everybody can relate. And if you guys have any questions, if there's time, I'm given 15 minutes, so I'll try to finish my talk in 10 minutes, so I can give it some of you guys to ask me questions. I was asked to talk about women empowerment, and I'll tell you about why they asked me to speak about women empowerment and how now I've become a women's advocate. Now, one thing I would like to do before I forget is I want to congratulate the organizers for putting such a great program, and also the turnout has been so great. So I think let's give them a round of applause for the organizers. Like this when I was growing up. We had some sort of an event when I was in high school and through college. I went to UGA, so go Dogs. Are there any Dogs there? Yay, go Dogs, yes. Don't worry, I'm married to somebody who went to Georgia Tech, so if there are any Yellow Jackets, I respect that too. My brother went to also Georgia Tech, so the house is very split, and my husband's brother went to UGA, so definitely the house is split all around. I gave you a little background. So I went to UGA, I majored in sciences, I was boring. I went to Druid Hills High School. Anybody from Druid Hills High School? No? Okay. DeKalb County? Okay, great. So, anybody from Clarkston? Clarkston High School? Okay. My husband went to Clarkston. So I moved here, I went to Druid Hills High School 11 and 12th grade. I'll tell you part of my journey, because when I was in high school, I came here, and I finished 10th grade monthly Ethiopian. Some of you guys might have taken the 12th grade, some people took the 10th grade. And then when I first moved here, you guys know how school is very difficult in Ethiopia, especially the math and the very, very technical classes. And I had one of probably the highest grades in math, which was 78, okay? 78 at that point was the highest class. And then when I moved here, guess what they made it? It was a C. So they translated it as a C. And the same thing, my 80s were translated as a B. So I started with a GPA that was very, very, very low. So I could not be as competitive as my other classmates. And it might offend some people in here, but for, you know, I came from a middle-income family in Ethiopia. Unfortunately, when people see that you are from East Africa, especially my counselors, they just took me as like as an immigrant who was a refugee, who did not speak or understand English. So when I asked them to be in an advanced class, I remember my high school counselor telling me, sweetheart, you might want to take it slow this year, maybe next year. So in Ethiopia, in 10th grade, I had started calculus. They put me here in Algebra 1. And it was a joke. Algebra 1, I did in 3rd grade. I'm sorry. So, fortunately and unfortunately, that counselor, her husband was sick and she was out. So for her, was substituting her, the assistant principal. And she looked at it, she was like, you took pre-cal and you got 100. I don't know why they're making you take Algebra 1. She's like, well, it was a pre-requirement. So she had to tick a box that said, I took Algebra 1. So she put me in this class. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to take responsibility for that and get you placed. And she put me in Calculus 1. So all those classes, the last year, because my GPA was so low, I took advanced placement classes. And advanced placement classes was called AP classes. Your GPA, instead of 4.0, that counts as a 5.0. So because of that, I was able to catch up with my classmates and eventually apply to competitive schools in the US. So part of the story I tell you is women leadership is a very, very important thing for me, but I think also to discuss about the struggles, because in here we are either immigrants or a child of an immigrant, and because of, not only because of our skin color or because of our gender, but also because of the way we speak, our accents, our names, our last names, we're going to face so much difficulty and adversity in life that, especially for the young people, they were phenomenal attitudes, just with kids as young as 4-year-olds and as old as high school with their parents, to see the amount of energy they had in their room. But I think if you're either a parent or you're a child in high school, I think we all go through some sort of struggle for being an immigrant. America is a great country. We all, and as I travel actually, I'm very, very immensely thankful for how America is. But with the current administrations and with how, especially here in the South, how things could be enabling to be xenophobia. Xenophobia means that the hate of immigrants and foreigners, or how the current administration is putting sexism and really gender as not an issue. And recently, somebody suggested that I read Michelle Obama's book and stop everything else I was doing, and really to see how it's transitioned from the Obama administration into now. And I don't want this to be a political culture, but it's the reality that we face. And I'm sorry if people are, support one party over the other, but I'm really speaking about the reality that we face. So I think we all could relate to, just like I said, as a family of immigrants, as a first generation, there are lots of hurdles and obstacles, but I think you also have to recognize how much of a great opportunity you have. Your mere presence in this room, you're very, very privileged, and you have a voice. And especially when you're aspiring to go to college and medical school or whatever school, I went to medical school, I'm a bit biased, but law school, PhD, whatever you want to do in life, you're going to face so much obstacles because of your name, your gender, how you look, and how you sound. So I think that is something that you should really be very proud of. And especially I struggled first coming to this country. In class, when I spoke perfect English, people told me, speak English. I did not know most of American history, and I remember Black History Month, my first Black History Month, I wrote about Mandela. They're like, no, you can't do about Mandela. So we have so many interesting stories that I could go and talk about for hours. But I'll tell you for the next maybe 5 minutes about how I became a gender advocate. So just to tell you a little bit of background about me. So I came here, went to school, did medical school in New York. I specialize in emergency medicine. That's why I'm restless and I pace back and forth. I'm sorry for the distraction, but I'll try to stay still, but I can't. And after emergency medicine, I really always wanted to do international work. I've always wanted to go back to Ethiopia, but I also know that the needs were immense in different parts of the world, not only Ethiopia, but just anywhere in Africa. So I was interested in international emergency medicine. To build emergency medicine is relatively a new field in other parts of the world. So I did emergency medicine and I did international emergency medicine, where it allowed me to do humanitarian work in different parts of the world, and also to build emergency capacity in different parts of the world. So doing my fellowship in international emergency medicine, I went back to school. I told the kids earlier, after high school, I was in school for 12 years, then I did residency, then I went back to school again. I said, if my husband allows me, I want to just continue to be in school. But he's like, no, we have to be adults and be out of school for now. But so that's kind of my journey. And to do my fellowship, I've had the opportunity to go to most places, including Mosul, Iraq, during the wartime, which is one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, to help people in the war zone. It was risky, but I was with a group that I felt very safe with, but really helping the injured people that were in the trauma zone, that were in the middle of the war. And some of you guys know the ISIS war in Mosul. They held captives where civilians were used as a personal shield. And it was a different war than what we used to. So there were a lot of civilians who were not, and especially women and young children, who were held captive. And as the coalition went and freed these places from ISIS, there were lots of people that were starved for months, and that were also hurt to some capacity that did not have medical care. So. And I also went to different parts of the world to help with emergency medicine capacity. And that's how I ended up at the Ministry of Health in Ethiopia. Before that, I used to go to medical school and help with the medical school residency. But I figured most of the struggles that we had at the clinical level or at the hospital level needed some policy attention. So I stumbled into the Ministry of Health because people that, when I was a resident, came into my hospital to see how emergency medicine is practiced in Ethiopia. That day, I was working at Bellevue. Bellevue Hospital is like the Grady of Atlanta. It's the oldest actually public hospital in America. And I really liked going to residency there, where I had the opportunity to serve people that were dirt poor, but they're also being in New York City, the millionaires, the actors, the Hollywood, the congressmen, the UN people. And I treat different range of people from different incomes, from different incomes and different backgrounds, and a lot of immigrants actually, because it's a public hospital. So that really gave me lots of satisfaction when I did. But also, when these people came from Ethiopia, they would do some HIV work and they wanted to visit this hospital. Because I was an Ethiopian, they're like, hey, there are a group of Ethiopians coming, do you want to give them a tour? I was like, I did not know who they were, but I gave a tour. I took pictures with them, I showed them how emergency medicine was practiced. But one of them was a big official at the Ministry of Health. So I said goodbye, and then another event, I was walking by, and this guy approached me and said, oh man, I saw how you were running around, working, very busy in the emergency department. He's like, I really want you to come at the ministry and help us. So that person connected me with the right people in Ethiopia. I started volunteering there. So every break I had, every vacation I had, I went to Ethiopia to spend there for a week or 2 weeks. And that's when I really knew that, even the small time that you spend helping people, they really appreciate it. And you have no idea, just going to go back to how privileged you are, because your presence here, you have so much resources from the people around here, versus the way you're taught here and the way you can have access to so much information. So I started going back, and I really found that more gratifying than the work that I do. And then volunteered for about 2.5 years, and then I met most of the ministers, and the former minister, who was minister until December of this year, 2019, he knew some of the work I was doing, and when he became a minister, he recruited me into his advisory group. So I joined his team as one of the advisors on emergency care and strategic partnership, and then since then I've been going back and forth. So I do spend my time teaching at Columbia University, where I work also as an emergency physician in New York City. And the other part I do spend in Ethiopia working, helping with emergency medicine capacity building, and also with some of the humanitarian responses there. So I did not want to, but I think I spoke a lot about myself. I will say this, I didn't think I was ever going to be a gender advocate in my life. I was born into a house of two girls and 2 boys. I was the last born. So I was born into a gender balanced home. So growing up in Ethiopia, I had aunts and female cousins that were doing well, doctors, engineers. So gender issue is not anything that I saw as an issue or a problem. One day, I came home from school. Some of you guys might have heard the story. There was this talk that I gave about a few months ago, and I came home from school. Look, so I sat in front of the TV, and then you had a program that Ethiopia Roblo, how was close up with people. I don't know if you guys know it. They go to different parts of the country and they show different cultures. That day they wanted to show this practice where there was this woman and ትንሽ ህፃናት ስላሉ እዚህ ብዙ ጊዜ ማውራት አልፈልግም፣ ግን ብዙ ሰው አቅፎት ልጅቷን the next thing ቲቪ ላይ ያየሁት በእግሮቿ መካከል ደም ሲፈስ ነበረ እና circumcision ነው፣ ፊመል circumcision ነው። በቃ አላየሁኝም። የ8 ዓመት ልጅ ነች፣ እኔ የ10 ዓመት ልጅ ነበረ ከዛን ጊዜ። So I thought that was going to happen to me at some point in my life. So I cried for hours that day. But እናቴና እህቴ ዛሬ ሲመጡ, I told them what I saw. They reassured me that doesn't happen because my grandfather on my mom's side has traveled and he had a bit of an exposure, so he stopped that practice in the family. So, and he had some education. So by some power of education, that had broken. And the next day at school, ጓደኞቼ ጋር አወራን። ሁላችንም እንግዲህ አብዛኞቻችን አዲስ አበባ ልጆች ናቸው፣ ግን አብዛኞቹ በቃ ወይ እናታቸው ወይ አክስታቸው እንደዚህ አይነት ቪክቲም እንደሆኑ አወራን። ግን በቃ we felt like, okay, this wouldn't have happened to us, we're okay, so we moved on. So ግን ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ የጀንደር ኤኩዊቲ ኢሹ ሜቢ የጀንደር ኢሹ ሜቢ the world is not fair to women የሚለው ነገር ጭቅላት ያስገባ ታወዘን። እዚህ ሀገር ስመጣ gender issue የሚባለው አጋጥሞኝ አያውቅም። Actually ቅድም እንዳልኳችሁ when I first moved here, I don't know how it's like in high schools now, but especially going to high school and in inner cities, you see at a coffee table, at a lunch table, you see a group of the black kids, the white kids, the immigrants, all sitting in a segregated table. And I really did not know where I would fit in. I took advanced placement classes where most of my classmates, unfortunately, did not have people of color. I was probably one or two of the black people in the class. And so I sat sometimes with my AP class friends. I sat with the Habesha people. And I also sat with the immigrants. So let's say I some of the gender issues are more racial issue of the Mirabishanji, immigrant issue, gender issue. እዚህም UGA ስማረው ብዙ ሰዎች አትሊስት ሳይንስ ውስጥ ቢሆን ብዙ ሴቶች ነበሩ፣ ግን ብዙ ጥቁር ሰው አልነበረ። ሜዲካል ስኩል ሴት አሁን እዚህ ሀገር UGA ስማር ክላስ 50-60 ከሆነ አንድ 7-8 ጥቁር አይጠፋም ነበር። Or if it was a big class, maybe you would get 20% of people of color. But when I went to medical school in New York, you would think it was diverse, right? Out of the 200 students, there were only 2 black guys. But it was 50% women. Of course, that makes me think it's still a racial issue. Gender nagar, it wasn't a big surprise. So, just to make it move fast forward, so Ethiopian ministry joined Karak Bahanan Sahid. They did so well in the work that they do. So, still the gender issue was not something. Again, like ministry level ላይ የዛኔ የፓወር ቼንጅ ኖሮም አዲስ ሴት ፕሬዚደንት መጣች፣ ከዛ 50% ደግሞ ሚኒስትሪ ካቢኔቱ ሴቶች ሆኑ ማለት ነው። እና ትልቅ ለታ በቃ ሴቶች ተሾሙ ተባለ, all those things. But at the same time, there was a big question of, let's see what they're going to do. Okay, ተሾሙ ምን አባታቸው እንደሚያመጡ እናያላቸዋለን፣ ስንት እንደሚቆዩ እናያለን የሚባሉ ብዙ ነገሮች ነበሩ። And that was when I thought, I was like, wow, like really? And then ሚኒስትሪ ሌቭል ላይ ስመጣ በዛ ጊዜ የነበረው ሚኒስትር ትራሚር 50% ሊደርሽፕ ላይ ሴቶች እንዲመጡ አደረጉ። እና ሚቲንጎች ላይ ሲሄድ ብዙ ጊዜ በቃ ፎር ሚ ወዝ የዛን ጊዜ እንግዲህ ሃየር ሌቭል ኢንጌጅመንት ስገባ ብዙ ሴቶች እንዳልነበሩ ምናምን ሳይ ሴቶቹን መጥተው ኦር ደግሞ ሴቶቹ ለፓወር ፖዚሽን ጠይቃቸው እንደዚህ ፖዚሽን አለ would you be in this position? No, እኔማ ለሱ ስራ እኔ አልገባም፣ ሌላ ሰው ነው የማትፈልገው። አይ እኔ ላገባ ነው፣ አይ እኔ ልወልድ ነው የሚል ኤክስኪውዝ ነበር የሚሰጠን ብዙ ጊዜ። ኦር ደግሞ when they're in the meetings usually ሴቶቹ ልክ ማውራት ሲጀምሩ ወንዶች ያቋርጣቸዋል፣ ኦር ደግሞ ብዙ ጊዜ አያወሩ እና በጣም ዲስተርብ ያደረገኝ ነበር። አይ በቃ አጉል አሜሪካናይት ስለሆንኩ ነው try to move away። ግን በጣም እየረበሸ ሲመጣ አንዴ የሆነ ሚቲንግ ላይ ስገባ የሆኑ ሰዎች እዚህ አድቫይዘሮች እና ሚኒስትሮች የሚገቡት አንቺ እዛ ሌላ ቦታ መሄድ አለብሽ። እኔ ማን ነኝ አልኩት። እሺ ነው ኦኬ ይቅርታ። ከዛ ካጠገቤ ልጆች ነበር ነው እሷ ከኛ ሀገራችን ነበር ዲፈንድ አድርገው ይገቡ። የዛን ጊዜ ደግሞ ልክ መጀመሪያ የተጀመረ ጊዜ I was the only female advisor እና በቃ ይሄ ነገር በጣም ሞር እየጨመረ ሲመጣ ሜይቢ ጸጥ ብዬ ኮምፕሌን ከማድረግ ሌሎች ሴቶቹ ምን እንደሚሰማቸው maybe it's because I'm just too Americanized, so that's why that's why I'm sensitive about it. So I spoke to the women there. They're like, oh, of course, so there's so many things that we face, and then they in the level and now, and then they don't ማድረግ የሚችለው እንችላለን። and not የሆነ solution እናምጣ ተብሎ Ministry of Health just after certain discussions we start having a women retreat በየሶስት ወሩ የምናደርገው የጠቅላላ የሚኒስትሪያል ሊደርሽፕ ሪትሪት ነበረ። ለሴቶቹ አንድ ቀን ቀደም ብለን ስለ ሴቶቹ ያለውን ችግሮች እና መፍትሄ ከዛ ግን እና ሴቶች ብቻ አውርተን ሳይሆን the next day ደግሞ ወንዶቹ ባሉበት ምንድነው ችግሩ ያሉትን ችግሮች ወንዶቹ አንዳንዶቹ ሁሉም የውመን አድቮኬት ነኝ የሚል ሰዎች ናቸው። even the person who started because say oh you don't know ያሉ ሰዎች ግን subconsciously የሚደረጉ ነገሮች ናቸው። ወንድ ብቻ ሳይሆን እኔም የማደርገው ነገር ነው ለጀንደርም ለሬስም ማለት ነው። ምክንያቱም በቃ በሶሳይቲ አንድ ጥያቄ ጠይቃችሁ በእንግሊዝኛ ነው ጠይቃችሁ ጥያቄው የምታውቁት ከሆነ አትመልሱልኝ። እሺ መልሱን ታውቁት ከሆነ አትመልሱት ቆዩ። So there was a father and a son. Gates, I see you laughing. You gotta answer this question because I asked him in the car, and I'll tell you this. So there was a father and a son driving. The father, they get into an accident. So the father and the son, they were in the car, they were driving, they get into an accident, a very bad accident. So the father dies at the scene, and then the son is taken to the hospital. Okay? The son is taken to the hospital, and when he arrives to the hospital, the doctor at the hospital sees at this boy, and the doctor is like, I can't operate on him. He's my son. Why is that the case? Okay, I'll say it. You say it again? Okay, I'll say it again. ሰዓቱን እንግዲህ ትላለሁ ሁለት ደቂቃ ከዚህ በኋላ ጨርሳለሁ ማለት የሚፈልገው ነገር። ስለዚህ so there was a father and a son driving, okay? And then they get into a car accident. The son survives, but the father dies. So the son is taken to the hospital. And at the hospital, the doctor on call sees at this kid and say, that's my son. I can't operate on him. Why is that the case? Pasi, መልሱ ታውቂያለሽ? በጆሮሽ ንገሩሽና ትክክል ከሆነ እነሱ ከነሱ they're right? Oh, no, you guys make me proud because my husband did not get this answer. I think you might have it right. Okay, so don't say it. መልሱን የሚያውቀው ሳይንገረኝ አንተ ከኤርትራ ተገበለው ልክ ነው። እሺ ብዙዎቻችሁ እውነቱን ነው ልንገራችሁ የኔ ባለቤት ነው ምን አለ እሱ ስለዚህ ዶክተር ወለ በእንግሊዝኛ የጠየኳችሁ ለዛ ነው because that doctor is his mother. But why did you see yes? See, man, መልሱ ያላወቃችሁ ጠቃላ is because you thought the doctor cannot be a female. Okay, መልሱን ያወቀ ሰው እጁን ያውጣልኝ። መልሱን ያወቀ ሰው እጁን ያውጣልኝ። መልሱን እኔ ከዛሬ በፊት ሰምታችሁ ለማታውቁት ሰዎች እኔ በነገርኳችሁ ብቻ መልሱን የምታውቁ ሰዎች ዛሬ 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 እንግዲህ 9 10 ለአስራችሁ subconsciously is right. For most of you guys, I'm not saying it's wrong, but this is how we perceive it. So I want you guys to see it. Subconsciously, I'm sorry, I love my husband to death and I adore him. You guys know he's the reason that I'm here, but he also got it wrong. So did my brother. My brother actually, but I'm cannot, because I know. So oh, okay, maybe they're couples who are gay, or oh, and then somebody gave me, maybe she cheated on him. They all said this, and I was like, she could be the mother, So, and then one time, you know what? The people felt so bad, so I was like, you know what? I'll give you an example. Like, my husband and I don't have no kids yet, so it's fine. Like, so. My husband's name is Wasson, and his future son is driving and he dies. They come to the hospital like, oh yes, you're the mother. So this thing can happen subconsciously. And I want you to know that. It's because whenever we see people, I know you feel bad and you're talking about it, but just give me your attention for the next 2 minutes and I'll be done. So, ብዙ ጊዜ subconscious የምናደርገው ነገር ነው። አሁን የተፈጠረው ነገር ማለት ነው, including most of us. Of course, I got the answer right the first time. My brother, I was going to tell you guys, he felt so bad. He's like, you know what, አለ ሁሌ እኮ ጽዮን ስለምንልሽ ነው. The next day ሲመጣ ዶክተር ጽዮን ቁርስ ደርሷል አለች. ዶክተር ስለማንልሽ ነው እና so the gender bias issue will always be there. It's not going to change for the next 100-200 years. And I'm going to tell you guys some stats, okay? Things in the past few years have progressed. I'm going to give you guys from the statistic from the US, okay? So women constitute majority of the US population, exactly 50.8%. They earn more than 50% of their undergraduate degrees and 59% of master's degrees, more than the men. They earn 38% of MBA, 49% of specialized masters. But when it comes to leadership role, mostly, I'll talk with some with medicine, they represent 40% of all positions, but only 16% of permanent medical school deans. In financial industry, they hold 15.7 of Fortune 500 C-level positions. And in politics, despite significant change, as of January 2009, that's when we had the highest amount of women, they represent 24% of the Congress and 23% of the Senate. So these numbers, if you've spoken to our parents or grandparents, they're probably like, oh wow, during my time, there were maybe 10% or 5%, so we made progress. So why is it that women cannot be leaders? Is it because we're incompetent? Is it because we have a lot of competing priorities? Family? I hear you, no, yes. And it's very difficult to discuss that in our culture. I'm going to say whether we're from Ethiopia, Eritrea, West Africa, most of the lower middle income countries, we live in such a patriarchal society. It's changing, but we have to know that. So I'm going to end with some of the things that we need to address. So we do hope, I think, so we really think that, I really hope that you all are for gender equity. Whenever we see a good representation of women in leadership, policies are better. Women work in a very collaborative leadership style. And the most gender impartial countries, which are the Scandinavian, most of the European nations, definitely not the US. I'm sorry to say this, and definitely not Ethiopia or Eritrea, wherever we're from. They've been able to achieve one of the greatest things. If you look at the leadership, when it comes to social services, all those things that are available. And Sweden, I was just in Sweden on Thursday. It's just the king was there at this meeting that I was at, and the Minister of Infrastructure. They all talked about how their higher level leadership was led by women, if not 50 or more. And they all talked about the importance of this and how it's changed the past decade. Right, so what are the things that we can do here, the small things? So next time when somebody asks you that question, hopefully you'll get it right, and really think about gender things. And also go ask your neighbors, your friends, your family, because you'll see it here, just looking at it, maybe 5% of the people got it right. So subconsciously, that's what we think. So how do we change this? So, this is just some evidences and some are opinions, so you have to take it with a grain of salt, okay? So, the things that we can do, for example, as parents, you might have a boy and a girl. I think most things you have to really put gender neutral things. Do you let your son play outside but you insist your daughter stays at home? Are you more stricter on your female daughter than your son? Are you most likely to push your son to go into sciences and to let your daughter go to something else? Which most things are arguable. I'm not saying that you have to push your, okay, Tavia's reminded me that time is up, I'm almost done. But some of the things that you can do. And most of us in here, like I said, are privileged. So it's really important to have these dialogues with your family, and especially your family here, and also when you go back to Ethiopia. The way how still we treat women in Ethiopia is just unacceptable. When I drive in Addis, people are like, oh no, you still that agave. Don't do that with Najib. No. It's because you haven't met my mom. I drive like my mom. And so those things, I think you just have to call out people at home. No, it does not matter. No. Now you have not seen the shoes. We can agree to disagree, but that's not what they are. And I used to drive cars, but I don't. Yes. Yeah. This is. Yes. Okay. Did you get it right? Okay. You're probably one of the 1%. And I salute your family, and I hope they go around and teach it.
But when you come to the issue that is Ethiopia, the more thing we have is a cultural property issue.
Of course.
America has only voted like 50 years ago. Women in America voted 50 years ago. 100 years ago, Ethiopians, we had a woman queen.
Yes.
So
I understand.
Yeah,
definitely, I understand. That's how I was raised. I never saw it as an issue until it came into my face. And you are probably one of the few people who got it right from that question. So subconsciously, we all think differently. So I've been told, I don't know, Aramba Mikbal, Botale Ethiopia was where and all those things. And there's a Botale again. And there's a culture is not amplified. So I'm not disagreeing with you. But again, you know, family but great. And that's what we try to achieve, like Karen's family, okay? And a few other things I would say is, I think there's so much everything great in Ethiopia, still all those things I think I'm gonna say everybody here has a voice. There are so many things that are coming up in the next few months, especially with the current administration and so many things that are working against gender equality. So if you're a US citizen, please go out vote in November. If you're an Ethiopian citizen, go vote in August if it doesn't change. I'm still an Ethiopian citizen. I never gave up my citizenship, and I'm hopeful to go vote because I never voted in my life. And one last thing I would say, I think there's a lot of awakening that we experience as a group. And as a generation, I think it's an opportunity for us to rewrite the future. I'm going to finish by thanking my family members here. My sister is here with her kids. Her husband couldn't be here. And also all my Atlanta family. I have people that I went to college with. We have a Mahalak together. And this is my Atlanta family. So I want to thank everybody for that. And also my niece today, my 14-year-old niece today, I was like, you know, the past 4 weeks I've been traveling, my hair is messy. So, and I told her I'm going to talk to a couple of teenagers, so she tried to make me look like a teenager, so now I can relate to it, so thank you, Naomi. She did my baby hair, so thank you. And just like I said, you guys have heard all my story. This would not have happened without the support of my family ever since I was a kid. And now, my husband, who supports me relentlessly, I arrived to New York last night at 10 p.m. and I had to catch up with him today at 8 a.m. So he's been very supportive. He supports all my crazy ideas and he tolerates all those things. So I tried to get him to come here. He's also from Atlanta. But I really want to appreciate his support and my family's support. And also all of you guys for listening to me and for listening to me with respect. And I hope you guys all learned something and I really appreciate it.
You guys have paid very well attention. Didn't she do a great job? Can you give her another round of applause? She said, if you have any questions, she's available. And I'm going to give, I know you might have tons of questions for the courtesy of the other people, and we have one other amazing speaker that we want to address. We don't want the time, and I want to give you guys prizes. I know you've been patiently waiting, so if you have any questions to address to her, I don't know if you want a personal question, or I will let you guys talk to her. You can walk up to her and ask her so that we can manage the time. And a lot of people might have a question, so you might have to walk around.
So, please, clock out now. We'll take 2 questions.
We don't have time.
Okay.
But you can ask her, individually.
Okay, and then individual and I didn't bring my card today, but my email is my first name, my last name, tionpre@gmail.com. It's on the program. You guys can email me. I'm on social media, Twitter and Instagram as Dr. Sion, so please reach out to me, and any questions you might have, I really would love to take it away. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
እንዳለው ቃል እንደገባ ነው 6 ላይ እንጨርሳለን። 30 ደቂቃ ነው የቀረን። የመጨረሻ ተናጋሪ አሉን ዶክተር ሰናይት፣ ብዙዎቻችሁ ታውቋቸዋላችሁ። ዶክተር ሰናይት አሉ። እሳቸው ከ5 እስከ 7 ደቂቃ እንደዚሁ መልእክት ያስተላልፋሉ፣ በተለይ ከልጆችና ከፓሬንት ጋር በተያያዘ። ከዛ በፊት 10 ደቂቃ ቱር እንድታደርጉ እንፍቀድላችሁ ወይስ እሳቸውን ጨርሰን በቀጥታ ወደሚቀጥለው ፕሮግራም እንሄድ? እንጨርስ። አንድ ላይ እንጨርስ ብለዋል። በጣም ጥሩ። ዶክተር ሰናይት ወደዚህ ሲመጡ ያው ታስተዋውቃለች አለ። በነገራችን ላይ መሀላችን እንዲሁ ብዙ ሰዎች አሉ፣ ብዙ ፕሮፌሽናልስ አላችሁ እዚህ ውስጥ። ለየት ያሉትን ማስተዋወቅ ችግር የለውም እና 1-2 ሰዎች ላስተዋወቃችሁ፣ ለየት ያለ ስራ ውስጥ ካሉት መካከል ማለት ነው። ዶክተር ጽዮን መሀላችን አለች። ሀይ ዶክተር ጸደይ ከኋላ አለች። ዶክተር ጸደይ የራሷ ፊትነስ ሴንተር ያላት ብቸኛ ኢትዮጵያዊ ነች ጆርጂያ ውስጥ። ደስ አይልም እንዴ? ሌላ ጊዜ ለፊትነስ ምናምን እየካፈላችሁ ነው አይደለም? ሺኦን ሰዋን ፊትነስ ሴንተር ተጠቀሙባት። ዶክተር ጸደይ ትባላለች። ሌላ ለየት ያለ ፕሮፌሽን ውስጥ ካሉት መካከል አሁን አይታዩኝም፣ ግን ዶክተር ብርሃኔ ነበሩ፣ አሁን ወጣ ብለዋል። ዶክተር ብርሃኔ የጆርጂያ ውስጥ ብቸኛ የሀበሻ ፕላስቲክ ሰርጀን ናቸው። ሜይ ቢ ኢትዮጵያ አሜሪካ ውስጥ አላውቅም ሌላ፣ ግን ዶክተር ብርሃኔ ፕላስቲክ ሰርጀን ናቸው፣ ብቸኛ ናቸው። እሳቸው ቴብላቸው እዛ ጋር ነው፣ ግን አሁን ወጣ ብለዋል። ሲመጡ እጅግ ሊነሱ እናደርጋለን። ወደሚቀጥሉ ተናጋሪ ነው የምንሄደው። ስታንድ ማስደረግ እንዳትረሱ። 10 ደቂቃ ከዶክተር ሰናይት ከሰማን በኋላ በቀጥታ በሚቀሩ 20 ደቂቃዎች እየዞራችሁ ሁሉንም ፕሮፌሽናል ታነጋግራላችሁ። መጨረሻ ተጣጥተን 3 ሰዎች ሸልመን ነው የምንሰናበተው። አለም ታስተዋውቀና ዶክተር ሰናይትን በቀጥታ ወደ እሳቸው እንሄዳለን።
በትክክል ቁጭ ብላችሁ ድምፃችሁን ቀንሳችሁ ስለሰማችሁ በጣም እናመሰግናለን። ከዚህ ጊዜውን እንዳላባክንባችሁ ዶክተር ሰናይት ራሷን ታስተዋውቃለች። ብዙ ኢንፎርሜሽን አላት። ዶክተር ሰናይትን ወደ መድረኩ እጠራለሁ።
እሺ ጤና ይስጥልኝ። እንዴት ዋላችሁ? አይ ቲንክ እኔም በእንግሊዝኛ በአማርኛ አደርገዋለሁ። አንዳንድ ጊዜ ትንሽ ለፍጥነት ትርጉሙን ለመፈለግ እንዳልቸገር አንዳንድ ነገር ላይ በእንግሊዝኛ ባደርገው ቅር አይላችሁም። አልፎ አልፎ በአማርኛ ላወራ እችላለሁ። ምልክት ላላችሁ። እንግዲህ ዛሬ የምንነጋገርበት ቶፒክ ፕሮፌሽናሊዝም and positive youth development ነው። How does it relate? And the outline, the way I would like to present this is what is the professional? What's the concept of the professional? How do we understand it? What's our perspective when we say we are a professional or somebody is a professional? The other issue we are going to talk about is adolescent or youth, and as a global health challenge, what are we dealing with right now in this day and age globally, and then also as a community, where do we see the issue of adolescent or youth health? And also, what are the sources of influence for positive youth development? Positive youth development has been talked about a lot, and what we see is there is a lot of input from different directions, parents, teachers, and mentors. And then why should we be interested, or why should we invest in youth? Why should we care? I think we need to also elaborate on that. So as much as possible, I'll try to be as fast as I could, and also maybe skip some of the slides, because I think 10 minutes will not do justice to this kind of topic. So when we say professional, who is a professional? What is professionalism? Professionals, usually when we are talking about, or the assumption or the concept revolves around a body of knowledge or training, most people think that professional is somebody who has a degree or a training or a skill or a practice of some sort. There is sometimes an agreed kind of values when we are expecting a professionalism. There might be an oath or code and accountability to our society for our profession and our professional behaviors. Professionalism, it also goes on the eyes of the beholder. What I call professional or professionalism may not be the same as what somebody is referring us to professionalism. So it depends on the image that we have built in ourselves, our communication, our competency, our demeanor. The way people behave would suffice to say that person is really professional. We go to get a service and we look at the people, the way they are behaving, and we can say that might be competent enough to be called as a professional. From the client's perspective, when we talk about professionals, there is a certain expectation that there is trustworthiness, the competency or the capacity that the person exhibits to the service that they are providing, the empathicness, the respectful attitude, and caring. You go to a hospital and somebody is not caring, doesn't have empathy, you might say they are not professional. And it might be from the client perspective an expectation that is not met. So why do we relate this, and how do we relate professionalism with youth development, and why should we be concerned? I'm not sure, but most of you might know about the Millennium Project. This is a project that really tracks the over 30 variables globally and looking at the humanity in global situation, where the world is standing now, where it identifies where we are winning, where we are losing, and where we are unclear about or have very little knowledge about what is going on in the world. So where humanity is losing is largely around ethical areas. Environmental issues, corruption, terrorism, and income inequality are the issues that we see. በዓለማችን በብዙ የምናየው ነገር በአሁኑ ጊዜ ታማኝነት ወይም ኤቲክስ የምንለው ነገር በጣም የጎደለ ነው። ብዙ ኮራፕሽን አለ፣ ኢኒኳሊቲ አለ። በጣም ድህነት እና በሀብታሞች እና በድሆች መካከል ያለው ልዩነት እየሰፋ ነው። ድሃ የነበሩ ሀገሮች የበለጠ ድሃ የሆኑ እና በጣም ሉዝ እያደረግን ያለ ነው። ብዙ ጊዜ ኤቲካል የሆነው ግራውንድ ላይ ነው። That's our problem in the world. There is a lot of advancement in terms of science, technology. Having an advance in science and technology provides an opportunity, but it comes with challenges. There is nuclear power, there is pesticides and other discoveries, genetic discoveries, but all these opportunities are related with the ethics issue. There might be also a downside to it. And for profit purposes, there might be a segment of population that might be affected or even have a side effect of these advancements. There is an exponential growth of automation, offshoring. ስራ ብዙ ወደ ሌላ ቦታ ይሄዳል። There is also automation, very much technology is out there replacing human capacity to work and earn money. But most of the time what we see is there is no mitigation factor. ከስራ የሚወጡት ሰዎች ኦቶሜት ባረግን ቁጥር ምን እንደሚሆኑ ወደ ድህነት በሚወድቁበት ጊዜ መንግስታት ወይም ሀገሮች ምንም አይነት ያንን ሚቲጌት የሚያደርግ ወይም ለዛ የሚሆን መፍትሄ ሳያዘጋጁ ነው። በዚህ ምክንያት ብዙ ሰዎች ወደ ድህነት ይወድቃሉ። ብዙ ጊዜ ሶሉሽኑ ምንድን ነው ስንል ኢን ሶሳይቲ there should be a deliberate effort to cultivate youth personal growth and ability to fulfill social and community responsibilities. ወጣቶች አድገው ዴቨሎፕ አድርገው ስራ መቀጠር መቻል ተምረው ደግሞ ፉሊ ፖቴንሻላቸው ሪያላይዝ እንዲያደርጉ ማሰብ ያስፈልገናል ማለት ነው። That's where the problem is. Character education becomes important. ምክንያቱም ethics ነው ችግሩ፣ ምክንያቱም corruption ነው ችግሩ፣ fairness ነው ችግሩ፣ injustice ነው ችግሩ። ያንን mitigate ለማድረግ we need to teach character. We need to see ethical values being uplifted in the work environment. So in order to understand when we talk about youth, definition of Chuzala and Buzuze, there is an overlap. The WHO we call the adolescents between ages 10 to 19. And then when we say youth, we are referring to ages 15 to 24, young people 10 to 24. So in general, they are usually referred to as young people. They are the largest segment of population in the world history. There is no time like now where we have young people, and most of these young people are in developing countries, low and middle income countries. That includes Ethiopia, like African countries as well. The kind of youth that we are having, the challenges that they have in this world now, is that they are living in a changing world, a fast-paced world, where there is a moral dilemma. They are daily bombarded by sexual stimuli, lives like clothing styles, magazines, and also music lyrics, internet, and what have you. The social structure has changed a lot. If you look at the time when we had our childhood and when we are looking at our children nowadays, there's too many differences between the times that we have in terms of what is available as a risk factor for today's children. The risk behaviors that we see among the youth are violence, like injuries, alcohol and drug, tobacco use, conditions related to sexual transmitted diseases, including HIV, and also physical inactivity and malnutrition. One thing is clear, as a global health challenge, what we have seen is 2/3 of the premature death and 1/3 of the total disease burden in adults is related to risk behaviors that occur around this age group. በወጣትነት የሚያደርጉት ነገር ወይም የሚለማመዱት ሪስክ ቢሄቪየር ወለድ ሶስተኛውን የሞት አደጋ ወይም ያለ ዕድሜ ሞት የሚያመጣው ያ ነው። ስለዚህ there is a lot of risk going on in the youth. Another important issue is the services that we provide for youth, whether it is at school, at health facilities, or within the communities, is poorly coordinated. ይሄ ነው የሚባል በጣም የተጠቃለለ ሰርቪስ ለወጣቶች የሚሆን የለም። ስለዚህ እነዚህ ችግሮች ባሉበት ነው የምንሄደው ማለት ነው። ሌላው ምንድነው ችግሩ የምናየው ይሄ ሁሉ የተያያዘው all these problems are related to brain development. We need to understand what the issue is, why the youth or adolescents are behaving in such a way they are exposed to risk. This is because of the brain development. Usually the brain development takes place between birth and 2 years, and then between the ages of 9 to 10, where there's large number of neurons growing. But at the age of 16 to 17, we have the process known as pruning or apoptosis, where there is efficient and faster information processing. That is a phenomenon known as use it or lose it. At this age, if children are not using their brain in the positive direction, they can lose much of the function. We will talk about that in a minute. There is increased need for structure, mentoring, and guidance from parents and adults. ይህንን ማድረግ ካልቻለን የሚመክራቸው የሚመራቸው ሰው ከሌለ በዚህ እድሜ ለአደጋ የተጋለጡ የሚሆኑበት እድሜ ነው የወጣትነት። ብዙ ጊዜ ብሬናችን መለከተው አደልት የሆኑ ሰዎች በፍሮንታል ነው ወይም ወደ ፊተኛው በኩል ያለው የአንጎላችን አካል ነው ውሳኔዎችን ለመወሰን የሚጠቅም የዳበረ ያደገ የሚሆንበት በአደልት ጊዜ ነው። ነገር ግን ወጣቶች ገና ያኛው ስላላደገ ብዙ ጊዜ የሚያተኩረው የአንጎል እድገት ክፍል የሚገኘው በዚህኛው አካባቢ ነው። ስለዚህ ኢምፐልሲቭ ናቸው። they are aggressive, emotionally volatile, they are likely to take risks, they are vulnerable to peer pressure, they are likely to overlook alternative courses of action, they are underplay longer term consequences of what they do. ብዙ ጊዜ አያመዛዝኑ። ይህንን ማወቃችን የሚረዳን ለምንድን ነው? አንጎላቸው የእድገት አካሄድ ገና ስለሆነ ያንን ተረድተን ለእነሱ በሚመጥን መጠን ወላጆችና አስተማሪዎች አክት ማድረግ አለብን። ሌላው ዩኒክ issue of internet, technology, music, emotions, and food. This plays a bigger role in the risk behavior of adolescents and young people. Drug and alcohol, the effect of marijuana on adolescent brain is not benign. Just because it is legalized, it doesn't mean it is safe. We have to know that the ወጣቶች በጣም አደገኛ እንደሆነ ለአንጎላቸው። There is explosive rise in vaping, popularity of e-cigarettes among teens and youth. We are seeing serious illnesses of lung disease and young people are dying from vaping. There is greater risk of drugs and alcohol at the critical ages 10 to 14. Continued drug use usually results in permanent change in the brain. Brain development arrest ያደርጋል። ይህንን ማወቃችን ምን ለማድረግ ይረዳናል? እነዚህ ነገሮች ለመከታተል ይረዳል። ስለዚህ ድራግ፣ ቬፒንግ፣ አልኮል እና እንደዚህ አይነት ነገሮች በሙሉ የልጆቻችንን ፊውቸር ከርቴል የሚያደርጉ ናቸው። ይሄ ፒክቸር የሚያሳየን ይሄ የ15 year old የ15 ዓመት ልጅ non drinker ነው። brain activity. This is a 15-year-old man who's heavy drinker and hardly have brain activity. This shows you that much of the brain is less active. So this kind of children who are losing their brain activity because of alcohol and drug are not going to do well in school, are not going to do well in their life, are going to be, they will have much more behavioral problems, and they are also prone to mental diseases. So personal and social assets for youth development, we have to make sure that their physical development then is also included by healthy habits, risk management skills. Their intellectual development, school success depends on what we are providing as mentors and also what they get at school and engagement of parents in schooling. Psychological and emotional development usually refers to their self-regard, self-regulation and mental health, and social development. They need connectedness and sense of place and attachment and social institutions. So we need to see the physical, the emotional and the mental aspects of youth development. So where do youth get their influence? Who influences? How do they get influences? What does the role of professionals mean when we talk about positive youth development? This circle shows us ወላጆች ወይ parents, not siblings, adolescents ላይ ወይም ወጣቶች ላይ ኢፌክት አላቸው። ሌላ ደግሞ ሶሳይቲ ውስጥ ዘመዶች አሉ፣ ጓደኞች አሉ፣ አስተማሪዎች አሉ፣ ስፖርትስ ኮችስ አሉ፣ ሄልዝ ኬር ፕሮቫይደርስ፣ religious leaders, traditional leaders. And also they get influenced by musicians, filmmakers, sport figures. And of course we have politicians, journalists, and bureaucrats. So the influence on adolescent health is multifaceted. There are different areas from which they get their influences. The parenting style also is very important. አንዳንዱ ወላጆች አውቶሪቴሪያን ናቸው። በጣም ብዙ ነገር በቁጣና በጉልበት ነው። አንዳንዶቹ ደግሞ ፐርሚሲቭ ናቸው፣ ብዙ መከላከል ወይም ባውንደሪ አያመጡም። ሌሎች ደግሞ ሪጀክት ወይም ኔግሌክት ናቸው፣ ብዙ ይተዋቸዋል፣ ምንም አይነት መመሪያ የላቸው። ግን በጣም ባላንስ የሆነና ትክክለኛ ፓረንቲንግ ስታይል የሚባለው ኦቶሪቴቲቭ ኦር ባላንስድ ፓረንቲንግ የሚባለው ነው። where you have responsive caring parents who are building bridges, who are putting boundaries with consequences for unwanted actions. So it's very important ምን አይነት parenting style እንደምንከተል። This is a saying by Jacqueline Kennedy: if you bungle raising your children, I don't think whatever else you do matters very much. ብዙ ነገር ልንሰራ እንችላለን፣ ግን ልጆቻችንን በትክክል ማሳደግ ካልቻለን ምንም ነገር ብንሰራ ሳቲስፋይድ ካልሆንን ትክክለኛም ነገር አይኖረንም። ስለዚህ it's very important parenting ስታይላችን የልጆቻችንን እድገትና መጪ ሁኔታ ይወስናል። የፖዚቲቭ ዴቨሎፕመንት ኦፍ youth happens in a context, usually family አለ፣ ትምህርት ቤት አለ፣ ኮሚኒቲ አለ, and then there are individuals. ምንድን ነው የምንፈልገው? ኮምፒተንት የሆኑ ኮንፊደንት የሆኑ ኮኔክትድ የሆኑ ካራክተር ያላቸው ኬሪንግ የሆኑ ወጣቶች እንዲኖሩ ነው የምንፈልገው። እንደዚህ አይነት ወጣቶች ፕሮዲውስ ብናደርግ እነዚህ ሰዎች አድገው እነዚህ ልጆች አድገው በስራ ላይ በሚሆኑበት ጊዜ እነዚህ ኳሊቲዎች የተሻለ ኮሚኒቲ፣ የተሻለ አገር፣ የተሻለ ዓለም እንዲኖረን ያደርጋሉ። ስለዚህ they will contribute, they will have reduced risk behavior ለራሳቸው ለሶሳይቲያቸው የሚያበረክቱት ይኖራል ማለት ነው። አንዱ ራሽናሌ ምንድነው? ኢኮኖሚክ ራሽናሌ ነው። As a global health, we are saying there is a global health challenge. When we talk about youth, we are having a challenge generally in the world. When we look at the population window, if you look at here, for countries like Africa, there is a tendency for developing countries, the youth population will continue to go beyond the 2020 or 2025. We are on 2020 now. The other countries, the Western countries, have finished their maximum potential for having youth as the largest margin of their population. So our population of youth will continue to grow, and we need to do something about it. Economically, they have to be educated, they have to be empowered, they have to be employed. Employed የሚሆኑ empowered የሆኑ educated የሆኑ ወጣቶችን ማምረት የሚቻለው ወይም ማምጣት የሚቻለው በቤተሰብ ደረጃ ፕሮፌሽናሎች ኢንቮልቭ ሆነው ኮሚኒቲ ኢንቮልቭ ሆነው ማድረግ ያለበትን ሲያደርግ ብቻ ነው። Without which we will not be able to reach an empowered, educated and employed youth. So we call it the demographic dividend. እንደዛ አይነት ወጣቶች ቢኖሩ ለአገሮች ለማደግ ለአገሮች ፕሮስፐር ለማድረግ ደግሞ ፒስ እና ዴቨሎፕመንት ለማስቀጠል ይረዳል ተብሎ ይታመናል። ስለዚህ አለ ዩኤን ምንድነው የሚታመነው? በ3E ኢኒሺዬቲቭስ የሚባለው ይሄ ነው። የሚማሩ ኤምፓወርድ የሚሆኑና ተቀጥረው ኢንካም ማምጣት የሚችሉ ወጣቶችን ማምረት መቻል አለባቸው እነዚህ አገሮች። ያንን ለማድረግ የሁላችንም ኃላፊነት አለ። የወላጆች ኃላፊነት፣ የፕሮፌሽናሎች ኃላፊነት። እኛ ያንን ለማድረግ ብቻ ማስተማሩ ማስቀጠሩ ብቻ አይደለም፣ ነገር ግን ካራክተር ያስፈልጋል። መጀመሪያ ላይ እንዳነሳው where we are losing is on the ethical ground። ብዙ የካራክተር መበላሸትና የሞራል ድቀት አለ ሶሳይቲያችን። በ21st century education ውስጥ in the 1992 there has been a movement towards character education. There is a move towards making sure that character education is instituted in schools, in universities, and in places where there is training. And the UNESCO is also backing up this movement towards character education. Because character counts. If we have character in our schools, in our organization and communities, we will have improvement in academic achievements, reduction in misbehavior and crime, increased attendance, and improvement in school outcome. So there's a double benefit for with character. We have our young people can reach their full potential. they will be happier mentally and physically well, and they will be successful. They will have, or they will end up being part of a flourishing society when they are engaged in moral and civic mindedness citizens. So to educate a person in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society. And this is a saying by Roosevelt, and I think we have seen that. Character የሌለው ሰው ብዙ እውቀት ኖሮት ብዙ ነገር ማድረግ ቢችል ካራክተር ከሌለው ከጥቅሙ ይልቅ ጉዳቱ የሚያመዝን ነገር ሊሰራ እንደሚችል እናውቃለን። ስለዚህ በጣም በሩጫ አንዳንድ ነገሮችን በማስቀረት ይሄን ያህል ነው ያልኩት። እንዳልኩት በርድስ አይ ለመስጠት ካልሆነ በቀር ብዙ ለማለት በዚህ ጊዜ አይቻልም። ነገር ግን እንደ ፕሮፌሽናል we should be able to plant the seed. Our role engaging the youth and making sure that we are able to impress them or to influence them in a positive direction for our society and our community is a very important thing that we can do. And we should be able to plant the seed for positive youth development. Thank you.
እናመሰግናለን ዶክተር ሰናይትን አድማስ ሬዲዮ ላይ ጊዜ ተሰማታላችሁ ተጨማሪ ምክር ሲያስፈልግ በድጋሚ ሁላችሁንም እናመሰግናለን። ያለንን ደቂቃዎች እንጠቀማለን። ሽልማት የሚያሰጥ እጣ ይወጣል። ከዛ በፊት ያው የምታነጋግሯቸው የቀራችሁ ሰዎች ካሉ እየዞራችሁ ታነጋግራላችሁ። ከዚህ ጀምሮ ላስተዋውቃችሁ እዚህ ጋር አቶ አስገዶም አንድ ጊዜ ቆመ ብሎ እንድታጨበጭቡላችሁ ስለምፈልግ ነው። እዚህ ዓመት ነው ሙሉ ኮስቱን አብረን ነው ሼር ያደረግነው። ሁላችንም እኩል አዋጥተን ነው እነዚህ ፕሮፌሽናሎች እውቀታቸውን በነፃ ከዚህ የሆነ ገንዘብ ለማግኘት ወይ ኤክስትራ ለማግኘት አይደለም የመጡት ሰርቪስ ለመስጠት ነው። እናመሰግናለን በድጋሚ። እዛ ጋር ብስራት አለች። ብስራት አንድ ጊዜ ኢቨንት ፕላን ያለች ከቺካጎ በቅርብ ነው ሙቪ ያደረገችው። ሁሉ ነገር እንግዲህ በባለሙያ ሰው ጥሩ ነው። ድግስ ያሰባችሁ ያው ኢቨንታችሁን ፕላን ልታደርግላችሁ ትችላለች። ሙያዋ ይሁን። ስለዚህ ቴንኪው በድጋሚ። ካሌ ፋውንዴሽን እዚህ ጋር አለ። በተለይ ከተማሪዎች ጋር በተያያዘ ብዙ የሚሰሯቸው ስራዎች አሉ። አነጋግሯቸው። ኢትዮጵያ ከ200 ያላነሱ ህጻናትን እያሰደቡ ነው። በድጋሚ እናመሰግናለን። አልትራ ኳሊቲ ሲቪሊ አና አዛጋለች። አጨብጭቡላት። ብዙ ፕሮዳክቶች አሏት። በጤነኛ የሆኑ ለእኔ አይሆንም መሰለኝ በብዛት ለሴቶች ይመስለኛል፣ ግን የእሷን እጅ የበለጠ ምጠብ ለሁሉም ንበላለች። በድጋሚ እናመሰግናለን አና ቴንኪው። ያው ሰናይ ኢቨንት ዲኮር አለች እዛ ጋር ብድግ ብትል እንዳምታጫዎች ወዳት ተስለናል። ኢቨንት ሴንተር አላት። የራሷ አዳራሽ አላት እስከ 200 ሰው የሚይዝ። በዚህ ላይ ዲኮሬሽን ራሷ ትሰራለች። ያው ዲኮሬሽን ስትፈልጉ አለች ማለት ነው። ሰናይ እዛ ጋር ዶክተር ጋርሲያ ይታየናል። ፋስት ፎርዋርድ ዶክተር ጋርሲያ ካሮፓክተር ነው። 3 ፕሮፌሽኖች አሉ። እሱም እንደዚሁ ሁልጊዜ ኢቨንት ስናዘጋጅ ሰፖርተራችን ስለሆነ በድጋሚ እናመሰግናለን። ቴንኪዩ ፎር ካሚንግ ዶክተር ጋርሲያ። ባይኖርም እዛ ጋር ያው ሞርጌጅ ሎን እነ ሚስተር ማቡም ነበሩ፣ አሁን ሄደዋል። ግን ያው የባንግላዴሽ ናቸው። ቢሆንም ሁልጊዜ ሰፖርት ያደርጉናል። እነሱን ባለው ሰርቪስ ሰጥተው እነሱንም እናመሰግናለን። አቶ ላርከ እዛ ጋር ይታየኛል። አቶ ላርከ የሂሳብ እና ታክስ ባለሙያ ነው። እሱም እንደዚሁ ሰርቪሱን በነፃ ሊሰጠን የመጣው እናመሰግናለን። ከዛ ቀጥሎ አሁን ባይኖርም ኦን ታይም ስታፊንግ ብዙ ሰራተኞች ይቀጥራል። ወደፊት ሊንኩን እናዘጋጅላችሁና ስራ ስትፈልጉ ቶሎ ቶሎ ይቀጥራችኋል። ዛሬ እስከ 100 ሰው ለመቅጠር ቦታ አለን ብሏል። እሱንም እንደዚሁ እናመሰግናለን። ከዛ ቀጥሎ ለምሳሌ የጡት ካንሰር ፋውንዴሽን አለ። እነሱ ብዙ ከካንሰር ጋር በተያያዘ ሰዎችን ይረዳሉ። እነሱንም እንደዚሁ አመስግኗቸው በጭብጨባ። ሰውን መርዳት በተለይ ሲቸግራችሁ ነው የእርዳታ ሰጪዎች ጥቅም የሚገባል። ልክ ሲቸገረን ነው። እስከዛ ድረስ ብዙ ላይ ይሰማን ይችላል። ቢሆንም ለሚሰጡት ሰርቪስ እናመሰግናቸዋለን። ከእነሱ ቀጥሎ የፍኖት ፋይናንሻል አለ። ታክስና አካውንቲንግ ተከትያለሁ፣ ግን ለእነሱ እንደዚሁ አጨብጭቡላቸው። ዶክተር ቴድሮስ እዛ ጋር ተብሏል። ከዛ ያሉት ነው የምጠራው። ወደዚህ በኩል ስመጣ ማክዳ ሞርጌጅ ሪል ስቴት ኤጀንት አለች። ብድግ ብትልና ብታጨበጭቡላ ደስ ይለናል። ማክዳ ሪል ስቴት ሰራለች። ያው ቤት መግዛት ስትፈልጉ እሷን ታገኟታላችሁ። ድንገት ላይ ማስታወቂያ አለ። ከዛ ወደዚህ ስመጣ ያው ቴለር ሜድ ኦል ሉክስ the name looks longer for me, so I'm sorry if I didn't say Please clap your hand for them. ብቸኛ አበሻ ፕላስቲክ ሰርጀን ከተማችን ውስጥ ያለው የእነሱ ነው። ስለዚህ ታጨበጭቡላቸው ይገባል። Thank you for your service. ከነሱ ቀጥሎ ክላፕስተን ፕራይመሪ ኬር አለ። ሚሚ አለች። አንድ ጊዜ በድግረኛ አጨበጭቡ ሚሚ። አዲስ የተከፈተ በሀገር ልጅ በአበሻ የተከፈተ ሕክምና ተቋም ነው። እናመሰግናለን። እዚህ ጋ ያው የማት ቱቶር የሚያደርገው ፕሮፌሰር አሉ ሙሉጌታ ቱቶርም ሰርቪስ በጣም ልጆቻችሁን ሊያስተምሩላችሁ ስለሚችሉ አነጋግሯቸው። እሳቸውንም ከእሳቸው ቀጥሎ ደግሞ ክሌርሞንት ሜዲካል ክሊኒክ አለ። ያው ዶክተር በላቸውን እና መስከረም የማያቀደም ለረጅም ጊዜ አገልግሎት ሲሰጡ የነበሩ ሁልጊዜ ቢሆን በምንፈልጋቸው ሁሉ ሰርቪሳቸውና አገልግሎታቸውን የሚሰጡን ናቸው። በጣም አድርገን እናመሰግናለን። ፎርካሚንግ ዶክተር በላቸውና መስኪ ሰርስተን ዶክተር ሰናይትን ልዝላላት ነው አብራችሁ ስለነበረች እዚህ ጋር ትሪፕሌ ማርታ አለች። ማርታ በጣም እናመሰግናለን። የትሪፕሌ ማርታ ብላችሁ ተፈልጓል ታገኟታላችሁ። እዚህ ጋር ከኋላ የነበረው አሁን ሪፍቱ የሀገር ስትሄዱ እንግዲህ ሽዘ ሰፋኔ ቴንክ ዩ ከነገር የመጣችሁ የኩሪፍቱንም ሪፕሬዘንት አድርጋለች አሜሪካ ውስጥ እሷ ነች። የራሷም ደግሞ ካምፓኒ ያላት አባከስ ቴክኖሎጂስ ሲኢኦ ነች። ካምፓኒው የራሷ ካምፓኒ ነው። ወደ 80 ሰራተኞች አሏት በስራ ኩሪፍቱንም እንደዚህ ታገዛለች። ለእሷም እንደዛ ጨብጭቡላት ተባባሪዎቻችን ስለሆኑ ዓለምን ላሶች በድጋሚ እናመሰግናለን። ያው እጣው የወጣን ግን እጣው ከመውጣቱ በፊት 5 ደቂቃ ልስጣችሁ። የቀራችሁ ካለ እንድታዩ ይሰጣችኋል። 5 minutes ዓለም ሰዓት ሄዷል እያለች ነው። እዚህ ጋር ደግሞ አዋለች ቶሎ ብላ ያልሄደችበት ስታታችሁ ለመጨረስ ኦኬ ጀስት ላይክ 5 ደቂቃ ከዛ በኋላ እጣው ስለምናወጣ ቶሎ ያልሄዳችሁበት ሄዳችሁ እዚህ ጋር ስትወጡ በዚሁ አጋጣሚ አንድ ሁለት መልእክቶች አሉ እነግራቸዋለን። የመጪው ቅዳሜ የአድዋ ድል መታሰቢያ ምክንያት በማድረግ የስቶን ማውንቴን ተራራ እንወጣለን የአድዋ ድልን ለማክበር። ስለዚህ ቅዳሜ ጠዋት 7 o'clock ስቶን ማውንቴን ስር እንገናኝ። ቲሸርት ግን ቀድማችሁ ማዘዝ ይኖርባቸዋል። ስለዚህ ቅዳሜ ስቶን ማውንቴን እንገናኛለን ፌብሩዋሪ 29። በሌላ በኩል እየሰማችሁኝ ነው? ሁለት ሰዎችን እንዲያወጣ ስለምፈልግ ነው። ዶክተር መንበር አክሊሉን እናርሰዋለን። ዶክተር መንበር አክሊሉ አታውቋትም? ስታውቋት በጣም ትገርማቸዋለች። ማርች 22 እዚሁ አዳራሽ ሌላ ኢቨንት ስላለ እዚሁ እንገናኛለን። ማርች 22 የአድማስ ሬዲዮ 14ኛ ዓመት ይከበራል። እዚሁ አዳራሽ ዶክተር መንበር አክሊሉ በእውቀቱ ስዩም እና ሌሎች እንግዶች ይመጣሉ። በጣም የሚገርም ታሪክ ያላቸው ሰዎች ናቸው። ማርች 22 እሁድ ቀን ከሰዓት እዚሁ እንገናኛለን። በጣም እንዲወጣ ኦልሬዲ ሰጣችሁ እዚህ ጋር አምጡት።
Antes. No. Apa ada? Saya jaga kalian. Mesti live. Antum kontak kerja. Live. Live. Macam mana? Mana media tak proyek pun boleh main.